Okay, it's midnight on Friday night. Just finished getting things pulled together. The bathroom is sort of coming together. Workers come back tomorrow. And just finished watching on the NFL Network top 10 clutch quarterbacks, where some douchebag was trying to say that Tom Brady was more clutch than Joe Montana because Joe Montana had better supporting cast or something. It's like, dude, whatever. Boston Sports Radio, loser. Anyway, the most important thing to talk about, blockbuster trade made this week between the Big Brown Bears and the Pillaging Peacocks. Mason Crosby, kicker, Green Bay Packers, for Billy Cundiff, kicker. I don't even know who the hell he kicks for, so that's how big it was, man. It's just stunning. I know, amazing. Blockbuster, what more can you say? Recap, week 9. Spotted Owls. Remember they were like 1-5. Mejia's like come on strong, 3 in a row, including a 132-86 win over top of the heap. Had the stud of the week, Packers defense special teams. Of course, that kind of like is with an asterisk because they were playing the Cowboys, who are just freaking disaster. Phil Rivers with 34 and Michael Turner with 22. Pure destruction of Higgins. Sorry, buddy. Third and long, and the turd, what ended up being the turd of the week, 74 points, 33 coming from Aaron Rodgers. The 2 running backs for Bergfalk put together a whopping 3 points. But trust me, wasn't even the worst performance of the week. Third and long beats ex-commish 74-65. He Hate Me improves to 6-3 with a 103-68 win over Seatown Cultural Nation. Peyton Hillis. Yes, Peyton Hillis with 32 points, running back for the Browns. With a big game over the Patriots. Gabe Smashers, 103. The Pillaging Peacocks, 93. Yes. The dream season, the nightmare season continues. Saints defense, special teams with 30. Ahmad Bradshaw with another 20 because he was playing the laughable Sea Chickens defense. Circus McQuirkus also improves to 7-2 with a 93-72 win over the Big Brown Bears. Who would have thunk Harry, 7-2, best record in the league? I don't even know what to think, man. I can't buy a win, and Harry's freaking on top of the world, but that's why they play the games. Bottom of the barrel, 93-47 over the Beavers to round it out, and Shannon with the wide receiver tandem of Steve Smith from Carolina and Chris Chambers from Kansas City put together a combined 0. It's like a double bagel. Not good. Not good unless it's Sunday morning. On to week 10. Game of the week. Seatown Cultural Nation 5-4 against Third and Long 6-3. Bergfalk did rebound to get a win last week, albeit with just 74 points. Big matchup. Tim Hightower and Adrian Peterson at running back for the Nation versus Marion Barber III and Justin Forsett. That doesn't even seem fair. Look for a blowout with the Nation coming up big on top of Third and Longer, unless Jay Cutler at home against the Vikings pass defense comes out with something huge because Aaron Rodgers is on a bye, and that's going to spell trouble for Third and Longer. So 6-4 for both of them by the time we're done. Next up, Spotted Owls 4-5 versus the Beavers 4-5. Beavers were like 4-2 or 4-1 or something. But when you don't make any transactions and have guys on bye weeks and just have guys that aren't playing or things like that, your team's not gonna do all that well. Although the Beavers do have a better record than the Cocks, so who'da thunk? Key matchup, Calvin Johnson and Jeremy Macklin at receiver against that whopping tandem of Steve Smith and Chris Chambers. So no contest there either. Can Harry go to 8-2? I say yes. Roddy White. This was, and I swear to God, this was before last night's games. I wrote these matchups down. Roddy White versus Baltimore and Des Bryant versus the Giants. I have them with a bigger output than Miles Austin at the Giants and Steve Johnson of Buffalo, who's been a big surprise and quite impressive. But ex-commish 3-6, 3-7. Circus McQuirkus moves to 8-2 with a win. Pillaging Peacocks 3-5-1 against the up and coming the up-and-coming new owner, general manager, whatever you want to call him, Ellis's son. I can't even think of his name right now, but obviously he's doing a lot better job than Greg was ever doing. We're not even sure if Greg's still alive. We think maybe he might have gotten lost somewhere in the Delta. We're going to send out one of those dart teams to maybe sweep one of the rivers and see if we can't find Ellis and maybe his fantasy football IQ. Both of them are kind of low. Andre Johnson at Jacksonville and Hakeem Nicks, who's usually on the bench getting big points for the Cox. They will outscore Deshaun Jackson and Steve Preston for the bottom of the barrel. So win for the Cox to go 4-5-1. Next up, Gabe's Mashers 5-4 versus the Big Brown Bears 3-6. Keisha, the little Cub is having a tough time, but upset this week. Little Cub comes through with the Buccaneers defense and special teams going against Carolina, like Jimmy Clausen and like their third string running back, and I don't even know who they have on their team, but they're pretty god awful. Gabe's Masters has to go with the Sea Chickens defense because the Saints defense is on a bye this week, and Sea Chickens lately haven't been doing so well on defense, giving up about 100 points in the last 2 games. So Big Brown Bears with the upset. Final game, He Hate Me 6-3. Peyton Manning at quarterback. That's always a good bet, especially when top of the heap is going with Orton, Kyle Orton at quarterback at home against the Chiefs. If he'd played Joe Flacco, it might have been a different story. But Flacco's on his bench with like 26 points that he scored last night. Tough gig. I know how it goes with having guys on the bench. So He Hate Me going to 7-3, I say, and top of the heap dropping to 3-6-1. That's kind of it. I don't want to get on too long, but apologies again for the lack of video report last week or any kind of report. But this kind of stuff was kind of taking some kind of precedent last week, and it was really kind of busy and a lot of stuff going on, and we still can't even find the right title to go with what we're doing. But who knows? Maybe we will someday. Anyway, that's about it for now from the Potter. From the Potter Lavatory. Not laboratory, but the lavatory. So, for now, that is it. Talk to you next week.